Welcome to the 2020 Linn County Virtual Fair 4-H FFA Rabbit and Cavy Show.
Let's get started. So today we're going to start out with our commercial class. All right, our commercial breeds. Commercial breeds or sixth class breeds are known for their large size or meat properties. With their large size, they take longer to obtain their senior weight, and they have an extra age class between junior and senior called intermediate. So as you see today, we have represented the Beverin, which we have three animals, senior doe, junior buck, and junior doe. And English lop, which we have a senior buck and a senior doe. And you can see juniors are 0 to 6 months, intermediates are 6 to 8 months, and seniors are 8+ months old. So here's our first entry, is our Beverin senior doe.
Okay, she has a good head and ear. She's got a good shoulder on her, but she lacks depth and roundness over the hindquarter, and she needs more width through into her hindquarter to give her the proper type. And she'll be a blue.
Blue, and first for our senior doe. Next, we have our Beverin junior buck.
He's got a good shoulder on him, but again, he lacks that depth and roundness over the top of the hip, and he looks like he's too short in body to have that proper semi-arch type, because they do need a little bit longer body. The big problem with him is he's got that lopped ear, which means he's got a really weak ear base, and if this was an arbitro, that would be a disqualification. So he's going to be a red ribbon today.
Okay. And last for our breed is a Beverin junior doe.
She's got a really nice profile to her. She could use just a little more roundness right over the top of the hip. But overall, she's the best type of the three. She will be a blue, and she's going to be my best.
All right, best of breed Beverin goes to the junior doe, entry number 926, exhibitor 107. Tattoo C001. Best opposite, and I would say you could probably say
that there is no best opposite.
Reason being?
Because the only buck has a disqualification on him for an arbitro, and he got a red ribbon.
All right, next we have our English lop senior buck.
He's got good length to the body, and he's got a good shoulder on him, but he needs more depth and brownness over that hip. You can actually kind of see where his hips want to stick out a little bit, meaning he's too narrow in the loin. Ears turn in to the body too much. They need to face forward more and be more open. They also look a little short to balance. But he'll be a blue.
All right. Our next exhibit is our English lop senior doe.
She's got a good profile to her, but she needs more fullness down the lower hindquarter. You can see where she V's in, so that just means she lacks fullness down the lower part of her hindquarter. Her ears are fairly well set, but she's got a little too much crown. They shouldn't have any crown. It should be completely flat across the top of the head. Her ears look like they balance okay with the body, but they could be a little bit longer. It's hard to really tell the shape in the picture, because there's not really a good picture of the shape of the ears. The same with the senior buck, and that's a big part of these guys. There's 33 points on ear, so you really need to show off those ears when it's a virtual show, because I can't touch them, so it makes it really hard. She'll be a blue, and she will be my best of breed, and that makes the buck the best opposite.
All right, so best of breed for English lop is the senior doe, exhibitor 191, tattoo DEE. Our best opposite is the English lop senior buck, exhibitor number 191, tattoo CHIP. All right, today we have a big fancy exhibit. So fancy or 4-class rabbits are traditionally smaller with a variety of uses from fiber, meat, and fancy. With their smaller size, fancy rabbits are broken into 4 different classifications. Juniors are 0 to 6 months, while seniors are 6 months and over. Represented today, we have tans, we have all the classes and a deep class, we have Dutch, we have dwarf Hotos, Holland Lops, Jersey Woolies, Mini Lops, Mini Rex, Mini Satin, Netherland Dwarf, and Polish. We'll be getting started with our tan senior bucks.
Okay, so on this guy, he's got a good shoulder and he's got good roundness over the hip, but he lacks length and extension of the front legs. He does have fairly good markings overall. His demarcation line will be a little bit straighter, but that's about it on him. But he'll be a blue.
All right. Our next entry in our tan senior bucks.
Okay, this guy has good length of body and he's got good roundness over the hip, but he's got a little bit of a dip in the shoulder. He does have good extension to the front legs. I'd like to see the chest marking a little wider. But overall, he's got good markings, but his tan factor does fade out, especially out into through that tail. He'll be a blue as well.
Awesome. All right, next in our tan senior buck division.
Okay, this guy has a really pretty profile to him, but he lacks some fullness down in the lower hindquarter. You can see when he runs, and you can see in the pictures how he carries his back legs too close together. So that just indicates that he lacks the fullness there. He's a touch weak in the ankles too, meaning that his ankles want to, instead of his legs being completely straight when he stands and when he runs, they want to bend a little bit. Overall, he has nice markings to him. Okay, he's a blue.
All right, I believe our last entry for our tan senior bucks.
No, I should have two. I should have two more.
Okay, I don't know. I don't have it up in front of me.
Okay. This is why I have notes. It helps.
It does.
Okay, so this guy has good length of body, but he lacks length and extension to those front legs. When you watch him run, he doesn't extend those front legs like he needs to. Again, he's got those weak ankles, and you can see in this middle picture on the left, you can really see how his ankles bend down. And that's not a good thing. You really want those nice, straight, strong ankles on these guys. He's a bit narrow in the chest, which some of that does come with age, and this looks like he's a little bit older rabbit. He's got a really low demarcation line. You can barely see it when he runs and in the pictures, which means his belly color is too narrow, and he's just kind of splotchy in his overall color right now because he's in a molt. He'll be a blue.
All right. Our next tan senior buck.
Okay. I love that he's running in the grass. And his video that he's out in the grass. But he's got a really nice length to his body, and he's got good roundness over that hip. And when you watch him run, he's got good extension to those front legs, which is what you really want in these guys. Overall, it looks like he's got nice markings to him, and he looks like he's got good tan factor, so he'll be a blue.
All right, your best, I believe that is your last tan senior buck. Yep. Who is your best of class?
Would be this last one, OLY.
All right, exhibitor 188, tattoo OLY is our best senior buck for tans. All right, now to the senior doe class.
Okay, this girl looks like she's had a few litters because she's really heavy bodied, and I know my tan senior does do that after they've had some litters. she's got good length to her body, but she just lacks some depth and roundness over that hip. And again, she's got those weak ankles going on, which is not a good thing. She's a bit narrow in her chest marking, and is a bit low in that demarcation line. She does have good color, and she does appear to have the good tan factor. She'll be a blue.
All right, our next tan senior doe.
Okay, again, this girl's just really heavy bodied. She lacks that, you should be able to see that nice clean tuck of the, and really see under them. She lacks some length to her limb. You can see, especially when she runs, how she kind of runs downhill almost because her front legs are too short. And she's got a little bit of a dip at the shoulder. Her chest marking is almost non-existent. It's really, really has faded out with, I'm assuming, with time. Her demarcation line isn't bad, and it's a fairly straight demarcation line. She fades out in that tan factor. You can see it in this one bottom right hand picture. Tail looks almost completely white. But she'll be a blue.
All right. Our next tan senior doe.
Okay. This girl, she's got good roundness over the hip, and she's got better ankles than some of these tans have had, but her front legs are just too short. You can see in all the pictures that she just doesn't have that extension that she needs. Again, she's a bit narrow and muddy in that chest, and that could just be an age factor because they do fade with time. But the rest of it, the rest of her markings are nice, and she does appear to have good tan factor. She'll be a blue.
Awesome. Our next tan senior doe.
Oh, I see her ear now. Now that I know to look for it, I see the chunk out of her ear. Okay, so this girl is just a bit low in shoulder. She does have a good roundness over the hip. Again, she's got that really narrow, muddy chest that is probably an age thing. If it's not, it's something that in breeding needs to be worked on. It's got a fairly low demarcation line. It is nice and straight, but it's just a little too low. And she appears to fade out in her tan factor. You can see it in the tail, that it really fades out. It's almost a white color. She'll be a blue.
All right. And I believe this is our last tan senior doe.
Obviously, length to her body, and she's got good length to the limb. I'd like to see her ankles a touch stronger. But overall, she's got of the doe, she's got the best markings and she's got the best type. So she'll be a blue, and she is my first place senior doe.
Awesome. So our first place tan senior doe is exhibitor number 8 with tattoo STINKER. All right, now we're going on to our tan junior bucks.
Okay, so this little guy, he's got a nice type to him, and he's got a good length to those front legs, but I'd like to see those ankles a little stronger. They're not terrible, but you can really see in the pictures when he's, where he's stopped, that he sits down too low on them. He's still really uneven in his color and markings, but that's, I think, just an age thing, and I think that, with some maturity, those will clean up and look better. So he'll be a blue.
All right. Our next tan junior buck.
Okay, so this little guy, he's got a little bit of shortness to those front legs. He just needs more length and extension to those front legs. He's got a little bit of a dip at the shoulder, but he's got good roundness over the hip. He's got good color, but his tan factor, you can see on his belly and chest, his tan factor really hasn't finished coming in yet. But overall, it looks like he's got good markings. He'll be a blue.
All right. I believe we have one more.
So this guy, he's got a nice profile coming in on him, but again, he's got those weak ankles, and he has some. His ankles are probably the worst of the three in this class. He's got good color and he's got good markings, but his tan factor looks a bit light still. And some of that is the color, and some of that will come with age. They just kind of have to wait and see what happens. He'll be a blue as well.
All right. And your
And then
best junior buck?
is the first one, Scruffy.
All right. Our best junior tan buck is exhibitor number 8, tattoo SCRUFTY. We'll go on to the junior does, tan junior does. Here's our first one.
Okay, so she's got good roundness over the hip, but she just looks like she's too short in body and too short in those front legs. It just looks like she's just going to be too short, you know, to really show off that proper tan type. She's a little bit ragged in her demarcation line still. Some of that could clean up with age. She does have good color and good tan factor, though. She'll be a blue.
Awesome. All right, our next, oh, that is only the one.
Okay, so my best to breed tan will be the senior buck.
All right, let me get back to him. Our best to breed, you said?
Yeah, is that one.
Our best to breed, it goes to the tan senior buck, entry number 1130, exhibitor 188, tattoo LLY. And our best opposite
is the senior doe.
Which was?
Anchor.
Yes. Our best opposite of breed goes to the tan senior doe, entry 101, exhibitor number 8, tattoo STINKER. Congratulations. Now we'll be moving on to the Dutch with our, starting off with Dutch senior bucks.
Okay, this guy's just, a Dutch is a compact breed, so they should be pretty short in body, and this guy's just too long in overall body style. He's got a little bit of a blunt blaze on him, but he's got a good saddle, and he's got good stops. His undercut's got a big jag in it, so, and that should be clean cut all the way across. He's just a touch square in his cheeks, but he does have very nice torque color. He'll be a blue.
All right. Our next senior buck.
Okay, this guy has a little bit of a long, low shoulder on him, but he does have a fairly good hind quarter on him. It's got good, looks like it's got pretty good depth to it and pretty good roundness to it. He's got a good blaze. His cheeks are a touch square, meaning they don't round off in the front. They're a little bit, you know, angled off. And he's got good stops. He's got a good saddle. It's kind of hard to see the undercut because on the grays it's kind of all blends together. Mm-hmm. But he'll be a blue.
All right, awesome. All right, and then our last, oh, get up here. Our last senior buck.
Okay, this guy, he's a little long in body, but his bigger problem with his type is he's really narrow. He needs more width, especially in that hind quarter. You can see how he V's in. That should that should be full. He's got good cheeks. He's got a good saddle marking. He's got a good blaze. He's a touch long in his stops, and he's got really nice looking color. He'll be a blue.
All right, and our best senior buck?
Is KLHR. It was the second one.
Whoop. Our best senior Dutch buck is entry number 1151, exhibitor number 54, tattoo KLHR. Now to our senior doe class.
Okay, this girl's got a nice profile to her, but she lacks some fullness in that lower hind quarter. She's a little uneven in her saddle. It looks like right at the top where it goes over the back. It kind of angles a little bit. She does have a good blaze and good stops. She's a little bit ragged in her undercut, and her cheeks are a little bit squared off and they kind of hook down a little bit. She'll be a blue though.
All right. And our second senior Dutch doe.
She's got a good profile to her, but she's too narrow in body, especially in the hind quarter. She needs more width in that hind quarter. She's got a good saddle. She's got a good blaze. Her cheeks are a little bit squared off in the front and they're a little uneven. It looks like one of them is a little rounder than the other one. Her stops are a little uneven and they're a little they're uneven in length, but they also kind of angle across the foot. And her undercut's ragged. She does have nice color. She'll be a blue.
All right. That is all of our Dutch. Your best senior doe
Is MD10, and she will also be my best of breed.
All right. Best of breed for Dutch goes to the senior doe, entry 1157, exhibitor number 54, with tattoo MD10. Our best opposite
Be the senior buck. KLH.
will be entry number 1151, exhibitor 54, tattoo KLHR. Congratulations. Next will be our dwarf hotos. Here's our senior buck class.
Okay, this guy has good type and he's got a good head and ear on him. He just looks like he's kind of rough in coat right now, which I completely understand because I have hair everywhere in the barn. His eye bands look to be a touch wide and a little bit ragged and uneven, but he'll be a blue.
All right. Our next dwarf hoto senior buck.
Okay, this guy looks like he's got a little bit of a late start to his shoulder, and he peaks a little bit early, so he's got a flat spot over the top of the hip. He does have a nice ear, and he's got a good head. His eye bands look like they're a good width, but they look like they're a little bit ragged. The eye bands are a little hard to see in the pictures. But he'll be a blue.
All right. Good. Your best senior buck?
Will be the first one.
Our best senior dwarf hoto buck will be entry number 1136, exhibitor number 191, tattoo CCLUKE. Our class of dwarf hotos senior does.
Okay, this girl's just too long in the shoulder, and it looks like she's too long, really, in overall body style. These should be really short, couple little rabbits. She does have a good width to her body and good taper to her body. She's got a good head and ear. Her left eye band is very nice, but her right eye band is a little bit wide and it's a little bit ragged around it. She'll be a blue.
All right. Our next dwarf hoto senior doe.
She's got a good head and ear. She peaks a little bit early, and that makes her, have a little bit of a flat spot right over the top of the hip. And she's a little wide through her midsection. When you look down on her, it looks like she's too wide through the midsection. Like she's wider in the midsection than she is in the hind quarter. And I can only really see one eye band. It looks like it's a good eye band. It looks like it's got good width and it's got good shape to it. And she'll be a blue, and she's gonna be my first place senior doe.
All right, our first place senior doe is entry number 1137, exhibitor 191, tattoo CCA. And I believe we do have a junior doe for the rest of the breed.
Yep. Okay, this little girl's got a nice head and ear. I like the length of her ear. She's got a nice short little ear. She's got a good shoulder on her, but she peaks early, so she lacks a little bit of roundness right over the top of the hip. She's got a little bit too wide of an eye band, and it's a little bit ragged and a little bit uneven. But she will be a blue, and she will be my best opposite of breed.
All right, our best of breed will be the
best of breed is the senior buck.
best of breed. Dwarf Hoto goes to entry number 1136, exhibitor 191, tattoo CCLUKE. That is our senior buck. And our best opposite of breed will be the Dwarf Hoto Junior Doe, entry number 1138, exhibitor 191, tattoo CCZ. Next, we have the Holland Lops.
Okay, this guy has a good profile
Oh, you froze.
to him. He's touch narrow in the shoulders. He's got good width to his head. He's got good curvature to his head. His crown has a good width to it from side to side, but it's set a touch too far back. It should be set a little farther forward. He's got a good pattern, and it's hard to tell in the picture if it's black or blue. If it's a black color, if his spots are black, then the orange is too faded. If it's blue, even then the fawn part is a little bit faded. So his color overall is just a little bit faded. But he'll be a blue.
All right, and he'll be our best senior buck. Our Holland Lop Senior Doe, one in this class.
Okay, this girl's got a good shoulder on her, but she lacks some depth and roundness over the hind quarter. She's got a good width and curvature to her head, but the crown's set too far back, and it looks like her ears are a touch pointed, and that just kind of throws off the whole head, ear, and crown part, where she does have a good color and she does have a nice pattern to her. She'll be a blue, and she'll be best opposite of breed.
All right, for Holland Lop Sydney, our best of breed Holland Lop goes to the senior buck, entry number 1141, exhibitor number 191, tattoo LMT. And our best opposite will be entry number 1142, exhibitor 191, tattoo CCD. Next, we have one Jersey Woolly.
Okay, so she's got a nice headset to her, meaning that she's got the proper upright stance to her, but she's too long in that midsection to give her the proper shape to her body. It's too long, so it doesn't curve out right. She does have a nice head and ear on her, and it looks like she's got a nice coat to her. I mean, I can't, of course, tell texture and density, but just the way it sits and the way it falls, it looks like she's got a pretty good coat on her. So she'll be a blue and best of breed.
Awesome. Our best of breed Jersey Woolly goes to entry number 720, exhibitor 111, tattoo PL. Now we are into our mini lops. We have several senior bucks, so let's take it away.
Okay, so this guy has a good profile to him, but when you look down on him, he's a little too narrow in that shoulder. He's almost pear-shaped rather than being a wedge shape. He's got a good width and curvature to his head, but his crown sits a little too far back. It just needs to sit a little farther forward. He'll be a blue.
All right, our next senior lop buck.
Okay, this guy has a really nice shoulder and midsection on him, but he peaks just a touch early, so he's got a little bit of a flat spot right over the top of the hip. He does have a really nice well-filled lower hind quarter on him. He's got good width and curvature to his head, but again, his crown sits just a touch too far back, and it's also a little bit narrow from side to side. That's why his ears kind of sweep back a little bit instead of hanging straight down. He'll be a blue.
Awesome. Our next senior buck.
Okay, this guy has really pretty type on him. He's got a nice depth and roundness to him. He's got a really nice curvature to the head and a really nice width to the head. He's got a really laced crown. You can see where it hangs just right behind the eyes, and you can see how his ears, when they hang, they don't sweep back at all. They're nice and straight on the head. He could use a touch more fullness, maybe down in the lower part, very lower part of his hind quarter. He will be a blue.
Awesome. Our next mini lop senior buck.
Okay, this guy has a nice shoulder and midsection on him, but he peaks too early, so he's in that flat spot again over the top of that hip. He does have good width and curvature to the head. But his crown sits too far back, and you can see in the bottom picture on the middle how his ears kind of sit too far. They sweep back a little bit, especially the one side, which means his crown it's too narrow from side to side. It needs to be wider to let those ears hang down properly. He'll be a blue.
All right. Our next lop senior buck.
Okay, this guy, he looks, in one picture he looks like he's a little long in the shoulder, but in the other picture he doesn't. So I'm gonna go with it. His shoulder is good, but he's too square over the hip, and it's because he peaks too early. He needs to peak back over the top of the hip rather than over the middle of the back. He's got good curvature to his head, but he needs some more width, especially down in the lower part of his muzzle. And his crown sits too far back on his head, and it's a little bit flat from top to bottom. It needs more depth, and that would give it a better appearance on his head. He'll be a blue, though.
All right, and I believe we have one more mini lop senior buck.
I think there's two.
Probably. I'm not paying it.
Okay, so this guy, he's got some of the same faults the previous buck did. But this guy's a little bit long in the shoulder, as well as having that too early peak, so he's really flat over that hind quarter. He also needs more curvature to his head. He's got good width between the eyes, but he needs more width down in that lower muzzle. And again, his crown is set too far back on his head, and you can see it's too narrow, so his ears, they want to sweep back. Looks like he does have a nice coat of color on him. He's going to be a red today, though.
Okay. And then our last senior buck.
Okay, this guy has a good shoulder, but he just lacks depth and roundness over that hind quarter. He doesn't peak that badly. He's just too flat in overall body style. He's got good width to his head, and he's got good curvature to his head. It looks like he's got a fairly good width to his crown, but again, it sits too far back on his head. It needs to be, so the ears ideally should hang right at the corner of the eye and not be as far, you can see his ears sit farther back on the head. He'll be a blue.
All right, our best senior buck
is 1W, one broken buck.
All right, our best mini lop senior buck goes to entry number 737, exhibitor 146, tattoo 1W. All right, now on to our mini lop senior does.
This girl has a good shoulder on her, but she peaks too early, so she's got that flat spot over the hip. She's got a very good width and curvature to her head, especially for a doe. But her crown is just set too far back. You can, especially in this bottom right-hand picture, you can really see how far back that crown sits. The ears, ideally, you want them to hang right at the eye, and even like when they're sitting in the cage and they relax, they kind of like relax over their eyes, and you can startle them because they can't see you coming. So she'll be a blue.
Awesome. All right, our next mini lop senior doe.
Okay, again, this girl's got a good shoulder on her, but you can see where she peaks too early, and she's too flat over that hip because she peaks early. She's got a good head near on her, and look, she appears to have good width to her crown. Again, it just sits a little too far back. It's not as extreme as the previous rabbit, but it is a little too far back. She'll be a blue.
Awesome. On to our next mini lop senior doe.
Okay, this girl has in one picture, she's got a really good profile, and in the other picture, it's not quite as pretty. So it shows how much posing can affect what they look like. We're gonna give them the benefit and go with the better picture though. So she's got a nice profile to her. She just needs some more fullness down in that lower hind quarter. She's got a very nice head on her. It's got good width and it's got good curvature to it. She's got a good crown placement, but it looks like it's just a touch narrow because her ears want to swing up a little bit instead of laying flat to the head. So she'll be a blue.
Awesome. Our next mini lop senior doe.
Okay. Okay, this girl, she's got a really strong shoulder on her, but again, she peaks a little early, so she's got a little bit of a flat spot. It's not as extreme as some of them we've looked at, but it's still there. She's got a good width and curvature to her head, but her crown it's too narrow. You can see how her ears really splay up and sweep back. It just means that crown needs to be wider. And I think her crown looks like it needs to be wider from front to back as well to let her ears open out wider. Her ears are a little bit folded in because her crown isn't wide enough from front to back to let them hang open properly.
All right, our next mini lop senior doe.
She was a blue. That last one was a blue.
Oh, sorry. Yes, blue. I was getting excited.
That's okay. Okay, this girl has a really pretty profile to her. She's got a nice shoulder, good midsection. You can see she peaks more properly, so she doesn't have that exaggerated flat spot over the hip. She's got really nice curvature to her head, but it could use a little more width to it. But it's not bad for a doe head, because a doe, you're going to expect a little bit narrower or smaller head on a doe than you would a buck, and that's really in any breed you're going to see that. She's got a nice crown placement, but it appears to be just a touch narrow from side to side because her ears sweep up a little bit. She'll be a blue.
Awesome. Our next mini lop senior doe.
Okay, this girl has the opposite problem some of the other girls have had. She's got a little bit of a late start to her shoulder, but she's got a really pretty hind quarter on her. She's got a good width and curvature to her head, but her crown placement's just a little too far back and it's a little bit narrow. She'll be a blue.
Awesome. Our next mini lop senior doe. Maybe.
Yeah, I got it. She's there. Okay, this girl, okay. She just lacks some depth of body all the way through. She's especially over the hind quarter. She's got a good width and curvature to her head. Her crown's just a touch narrow from side to side. You can see how those ears sweep up, and that's because that crown is too narrow. She's a red.
All right, I believe we have one more mini lop senior doe, maybe two. It's a good class.
One.
Okay.
This girl has the same problem that the last doe did. She's just too flat in body style. And this girl even appears to be a bit long, especially in the midsection. She's got a good width and curvature to her head. And she's got a good width to her crown, but it's just set too far back. She's also got a big old multi-spot on her coat, which really throws off her whole appearance. She'll be a red as well.
All right. And your selection for best senior doe?
Best senior doe is W93E2. It was a steal, I think.
E2?
Yeah.
W93E2.
Yep,
all right. Our best mini lop senior doe goes to entry number 750, exhibitor number 146, tattoo W93E2. All right, now we're going on to the junior bucks.
Okay, this guy has a good shoulder on him, but he peaks too early. He's got good curvature to the head, but he still lacks some width to his head. His crown could be a touch farther forward, but it's not too bad. And it looks like it's got pretty good width from side to side and front to back. He'll be a blue.
Awesome. Our next junior buck.
Okay, this guy's got a good shoulder, but again, he peaks a little early, so he slides out that hip or that hind quarter. He's got a very good width and curvature to his head, especially for a junior buck. And he's got a really well-placed crown. I just like to see it. He's got a mature picture, and it looks like he's a fairly young buck still, but he'll be a blue.
Awesome. All right, our next mini lop junior buck.
Okay, this guy's got a nice shoulder and midsection on him, but he's just a touch square over the top of the hip. And he looks like he peaks fairly well though, so it's just a little bit, but it's just there's just that little bit of a flat spot there. He's got good width to his head, and he's got good, but he lacks a little bit of curvature to his head still. Some of that should come with age. You always hope anyway. He does have a nice crown on him. It's well placed. It's got good width. It's got good depth to it. He will be a blue.
Awesome. Our next mini lop junior buck.
Okay, this guy has a nice profile to him, but he lacks some fullness in the lower hindquarter. You can see it in the top picture, and you can see it in the back picture. He kind of V's in a little bit. He's got good length to his head, but he lacks some curvature to his head. Or I take that back. He lacks some width to his head, and he lacks some curvature to his head. The curvature is the bigger problem. I think the width maybe isn't quite as bad. Not having enough curvature really throws off the whole aspect of his head. And his crown sits too far back, so that makes his head look really long in comparison to his body. He will be a blue.
Okay. Our next mini lop junior buck.
Okay, this guy has a good shoulder on him, but he peaks a little bit too far forward, and he lacks some depth over that hip. He's got a good width and curvature to his head, and he's got fairly good crown placement, so he'll be a blue.
Awesome.
Okay, and my
That is
first,
all for junior.
yeah, my first place junior buck is W03F2.
There we go. Our best junior buck is entry number 758, exhibitor 146, tattoo W03F2. Now on to the mini lop junior doe class.
Okay, this girl's got a good shoulder, but she needs a touch more roundness over that hip. She's got a really nice width to her head and a good curvature to her head. But again, her crown's is just a touch too far back. And that's a problem with a lot of the lobs. It's not just mini lobs. I see it in all the lobs. So it should be a blue.
All right. Our next mini lop junior doe.
Okay. This girl has a good shoulder on her, but she lacks a lot of depth and roundness and fullness to her hindquarter. You can see in the first picture on the left how her back legs really cock in, and that's a good indication that she's cowhocked, and that causes that hindquarter not to be full enough. It looks like it's worse on one side than the other. She does have good curvature to her head. She could use a little bit more width to her head. She does have a nice width to her crown, and it looks like it's fairly well placed. She'll be a blue.
All right. And our best junior doe?
Was the first one. The
Yep.
Yeah, that
Our best mini lop junior doe goes to entry number 760, exhibitor 146, tattoo W003F1. And your selection for best of breed and best opposite mini lop?
Okay, best of breed is the senior doe.
Which was?
W93E2.
Our best of breed mini lops goes to the senior doe, entry number 750, exhibitor 146, tattoo W93E2. And our best opposite?
Is the senior buck, 1W.
Our best opposite mini lop goes to the senior buck, entry number 737, exhibitor number 146, tattoo 1W. On to the mini Rex. Now we're on to the mini Rex.
Okay, this girl, she's a little long on her shoulder. It looks like she has a good hindquarter. And there's two different pictures of her. It looks like one is an older picture of her and one is a newer picture. And in the newer picture, she looks like she's really out of potent condition today. And her color is really uneven and splotchy. She's gonna be a red because there's so many points on Mini Rex coat that I can't give her a blue ribbon.
Understandable. Our next mini lop is a senior doe.
Okay, this girl was a little hard to judge because I really needed a side profile picture of her to properly evaluate her type. But looking down on her, it looks like she's a touch long on the shoulder. But the big issue with her is that she has no butterfly marking, which is a requirement in any broken. They have to have some kind of color in the area that would normally encompass the butterfly. So she'll be a red ribbon today.
All right, the butterfly is located in the nose area, for anybody that is wondering what that means. Thank you. Now we're on to the mini satins.
Okay, the senior buck, he looks like he's got a nice profile to him, but he lacks some width and fullness in that lower hindquarter. You can see how his one in the profile picture, his foot cocks out, which is a good indicator that he's got some cow hocks going on and not enough fullness in the lower hindquarter. He looks like he's got a good head and ear, and his color's a little bit uneven right now. Maybe he'll be a blue.
All right. Our mini satin senior doe.
Okay, so she doesn't have a very good profile picture. There's a little bit of one there, which makes it hard to really evaluate her because there's a lot of points on looking at the side of the animal, and that's how you judge, the shoulder, the midsection, the shape of the whole animal. So from the top, she looks like she's a little bit long in body. I think she's fairly well filled in the lower hindquarter. She's got a good head and ear, and she looks like she's got good color. She will be my best opposite of breed, and the senior buck will be my best of breed.
All right, today for mini satins, our senior buck is our best of breed, entry number 892, exhibitor 109, tattoo DAZ. Our best opposite of breed for the mini satin is entry number 923, exhibitor number 115, tattoo 1SS. Now we're on to the Netherland dwarfs.
Okay. I'd really like to see the profile picture without the hands on him, but it's a profile picture, so we can work with that. And I know this is like different and crazy for all of us. So he appears to have a nice profile to him, but he just lacks some fullness in that lower hindquarter. He's got a nice head and ear on him, and he's got nice color. He will be a blue.
Awesome. Our next Netherland dwarf senior buck.
This guy has a very nice head and ear on him, and he's got a good shoulder, but then he flattens out over the hip because he doesn't peak correctly. He's a touch narrow in the shoulder as well. They should be the same width all the way through, or almost the same width. I think he's a little bit splotchy in his color, but he will be a blue.
All right, and our last Netherland dwarf senior buck.
Okay, this guy has a nice shoulder on him, but he just lacks depth and roundness over that hip because he's a little bit short in the midsection. He's also a touch narrow through that shoulder. He's got a good profile to his head, but it's a bit long and it's a bit narrow. He just looks like he's got really nice thick ears on him, though. He'll be a blue as well.
All right, and your selection for best Netherland dwarf senior buck?
Is the 2J1, it was the first one.
All right, our best senior buck goes to entry number 552, exhibitor 109, tattoo 2J1. Now our senior does.
Okay, this girl's got a good shoulder, but she's a touch flat over the hip. She's got a good head on her. I'd like to see her ears a little bit closer together, but they look like they have a nice thickness and substance to them. She looks like she's a little bit faded in her color as well, but she will be a blue.
Awesome. Our next Netherland dwarf senior doe.
Okay, this girl has a nice head and ear on her, but she's just too flat in her overall body style. She needs to be a little more upright. So she lacks depth all the way through, and she lacks some roundness over the hip. She's splotchy in her color, but it does look like it's a nice color coming in. She will be a red.
All right. And our last Netherland dwarf senior doe.
Okay, this girl has a good head on and ear on her. She looks like she's a little low set in body style. It looks like she's got good width to the body and a fairly well-filled hindquarter. She does have a nice coat on her and nice color. She'll be a blue.
All right, I believe that is the rest. That is our class. Your best senior doe.
The F2, it was the first one.
All right, our best senior Netherland dwarf doe will be entry number 576, exhibitor number 109, tattoo F2. And we do have Netherland dwarf junior buck.
Okay. Okay, so this guy has a good shoulder, but he peaks too far forward, so he doesn't have enough depth and roundness over the hip. He looks like he's a little bit narrow in that lower hindquarter as well, and you can see how his back feet really splay out, which is, again, a good indicator that he doesn't have enough width in those lower hindquarters. He does have a good length of his head, but he still needs some roundness to that head. It hasn't really come in yet, and it's a bit narrow still. And he has good ears, a little bit splotchy in color still. It will be a blue.
All right. Our next entry for junior buck Netherland dwarfs.
Okay, this little guy's got a good head and ear on him, but he's too low set. He needs to be more upright on those front legs. So he just lacks some roundness to his body. He does look like he has very nice color coming in. He will be a red though.
Okay. And I believe our last Netherland dwarf junior buck.
Okay, this guy has that more upright stance that the last rabbit didn't have, but he's too square in that hindquarter. He's like flat over the midsection. I think that midsection is a touch too long as well. He does have a good head and he's got a good ear and he's got very pretty color coming in. He will be a blue.
All right, and your favorite junior buck?
Was the first one PT2? I think it was.
Yep. Our best junior buck will go to entry number 692, exhibitor number 111, tattoo P2. Sorry, dyslexia hit me.
Okay.
And Netherland dwarf.
Best of breed Netherland dwarf will be the senior buck.
Our best breed Netherland dwarf will go to entry number 552. Exhibitor number 109, tattoo 2J1, and your best opposite
is the senior doe.
Entry number 576, exhibitor number 109, tattoo F2. Congratulations. We have, I believe, one Polish, and this is the last of our fancy.
Okay, this girl has a nice shoulder, but she peaks a touch early, so she lacks a little bit of depth and roundness over the top of the hip. She has a good head, and she's got a very nice eye and ear on her. She's a little bit splotchy in her color, which is that time of year. She will be a blue, and she will be best of breed Polish.
All right, our best of breed Polish goes to the senior doe, entry number 694, exhibitor number 122. Tattoo is PP. That is it for our purebred rabbits. Next, we are going to our crossbred. Crossbreds are rabbits that are the outcome of breeding two different breeds of rabbits together. Most of the time, they show characteristics of one or both of the parents. Unfortunately, most of the time, they don't meet the requirements of the standard of perfection that most purebred rabbits are judged by. But they still have a place in our show, and we do give them credit. So today, for our crossbred division, we have represented one senior doe.
Okay, so crossbreds aren't judged on a standard. They're just judged on the condition of the rabbit, cleanliness of the rabbit, fur condition, and you can add in some cute points if you want. So she looks like she has really nice flesh and fur. And she's got really cute markings, so she will be a blue and best crossbreed.
There you go. Our best crossbred division winner is entry number 919, exhibitor 115. Tattoo is CC. All right, before we continue on with our Cavy division, we will allow Lynn to select her best commercial. So she will be selecting best commercial and reserve commercial rabbit, along with best fancy and reserve fancy. From those 4 rabbits, she will be selecting her reserve and show rabbit and her best in show rabbit. So again, for the commercial breeds, if you're just tuning in, we have represented today our Beveren and our English Lop. All right, our best of breed Beveren was the Junior Doe. Our best of breed for the English Lops was the Senior Doe. Lynn, I'll let you take it from here for your selection.
Okay, so best 6 class will be the Beveren, and reserve 6 class will be the English Lop.
Our best 6 class animal goes to entry number 926, exhibitor 107, tattoo C001, which is our Beveren Junior Doe. Our reserve best commercial or best 6 class is entry number 1133, exhibitor number 191, tattoo DEE, the English Lop. Congratulations. Now our fancy. For our fancies, we have represented again today is our Tan, Dutch, Dwarf Hoto. We have Holland Lop, Jersey Woolly, Mini Lop, Mini Satin, Netherland Dwarf, Polish. All right, and I will allow Lynn to select our reserve fancy and our best fancy.
Okay, so the reserve fancy rabbit today, or reserve 4 class, is going to be the Tan.
All right, dogs. Our reserve best 4 class goes to the Tan Senior Buck, entry number 1130, exhibitor 181, tattoo OLY.
And best 4 class or best fancy rabbit is the Mini Lop.
Our best 4 class today goes to entry number 750, exhibitor number 146, tattoo W93E2, the Mini Lop Senior Doe. Now for your selection for reserve rabbit division and best rabbit division.
Okay, reserve and show today is the Beveren, and best in show is the Mini Lop.
Reserve and show today goes to the Beveren Junior Doe, entry number 926, exhibitor number 107, tattoo C001, and congratulations to best in show rabbit. That goes to the Mini Lop Senior Doe, entry number 750, exhibitor number 146, tattoo W93E2. For our Cavy division, we have a great representation of cavies today. So cavies or guinea pigs are very popular with youth and adults. Recognized in 13 breeds here in the United States, cavies come in all sorts of colors and hair types. Today we have represented 6 out of the 13 breeds, so that's quite awesome. Some areas of the nation don't even see half of even this half of the entries in the open shows. Guinea pigs or cavies are shown a lot like commercial rabbits in the sense that they are split into 6 different classes to show depending on the age and sex. You can see juniors are 0 to 4 months, intermediates are 4 to 6 months, and seniors are 6 months and over. And you can see we kind of focus more on their weight class, so I added the weight divisions. Represented today, we have Abyssinians in senior sow, intermediate boar and intermediate sow. We have Americans, senior boar, senior sow, intermediate sow, and junior boar. We have American satins, senior boar, intermediate sow, and junior boar. Peruvian, intermediate boar, and junior sow. Teddy, we have a senior boar, and then Texels, we have intermediate boar and intermediate sow. All right, so first for our Cavy division is the Abyssinian Senior Sow class.
Okay, so this girl has good type. I'd like to see her shoulder rosettes and her saddle rosettes have a little better of a better alignment. They should all, when you look at them, they should all be in one row right across, and you can see how the centers are a little bit offset. They do have good centers, but she needs a better distribution of color. She's lacking some patches of color on the rest of her body outside of just her head. She'll be a blue though.
Awesome. And she is our only senior sow. She is our best senior sow. All right, Abyssinian Intermediate Boar class.
Okay, this guy has good type. He's got pretty good alignment to the rosettes. And they look like they all have fairly good centers. He's got good color to him as well. These guys are so hard to judge by pictures because so much of it is how they look when they move on the table. So it makes it a little hard to do these guys. Okay, but he'll be a blue. Did I tell you that?
Yes. Well, no, maybe not. But we got it covered. All right. Our next intermediate Abyssinian boar.
Okay, this guy has really nice type to him. He's got good ears on him, especially for an Abbey, because sometimes the Abbeys have a little short, high-set ears. But his ears, even the one without the tag, is hanging down. He's got good saddle and shoulder rosettes, and they have fairly good alignment to them. His hip and rump rosettes are well placed, but they're a little bit buttered, meaning that the centers aren't round; they're a little bit elongated. And he does have very nice color. And he will be a blue.
Awesome. Our next one in this class.
Okay, this guy has good type as well. His rosettes on his saddle and shoulder are a little bit smushed together, meaning they're a little close together. They need to be a little farther apart to give him that good ridges between them. And they're a little bit open as well. They need to be they should be a little rounder and a little tighter in their centers. He also needs better color. You can see there's some red to him, but he's mostly, or is he a black? I'm having trouble telling. Is he a full black?
I believe he is a brindle. I believe he's a brindle, but black based.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking, and now I'm second guessing that. But he needs better. He needs better color. He should have more of that red to him, because in these pictures he looks almost like just a really faded black in some ways. So he needs a lot more of that red color to really give him the proper color. He will be a blue though.
All right. Our next intermediate Abyssinian boar.
Okay, this guy has good type, and he looks like he's got good rosettes, but his ridges, especially that rump ridge, it's too wide. His hip rosettes are too far back, so it doesn't give him that proper ridge over his rear. You can really see it in the third picture down on the right. You can see how it's kind of just flat. It needs to be more upright. And then he's got some elongated centers again on some of his rosettes, but he will be a blue. You can see his ears are really small. You can see how small and high set they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I think this is our last intermediate boar for this class.
Okay, this guy has good type, but his rosettes they all look kind of small, and they look really flat. And it's really hard to judge the rosettes in these from pictures. But just that's the appearance that he has, is that they're kind of flat and they're a little bit small, and the alignment isn't bad on him, but his whole coat looks too flat. He needs more structure to that coat to give it that proper Abbey look. But he will be a blue.
All right, and your best intermediate?
Is 027. I believe it was the second one.
There it is. Our best intermediate Abyssinian boar goes to entry number 929. Exhibitor 107, tag number 027. That's a lot of sevens. All right, now is our Abyssinian Intermediate Sow division.
Okay, this girl has good type. Her saddle and shoulder rosettes are fairly well placed and they have good centers. She looks like she has good rump and hip rosettes. Again, I'd like to see her ridges a little bit straighter. They're a little bit cocked. And I'd also like to see a little bit more of that red color throughout, just to give her a little more of a better brindle color, but she will be a blue.
Awesome. Our next sow in this division.
Okay. This girl has good type. She has good placement to most of her rosettes. The one, I take that back. She has good placement to her rosettes on the shoulder and saddle. Her hip rosettes are well placed. Rump rosettes are well placed. She has nice centers to all of them, and she has better color than the other sow. She could still use a little bit more red to really balance the two colors, but you can look at her and tell she's a brindle. You don't question whether she's a brindle or not.
Yeah.
So she will be a blue.
All right. And which intermediate?
The SR 031 will be my first place intermediate sow.
Best of breed, Abyssinian goes to
The intermediate boar.
Intermediate boar, entry number 929, and exhibitor number 107, tag number 027. Our best opposite, Abyssinian, goes to the intermediate sow, entry number 941, exhibitor 107, tag number SR031. Next, we will be entering the Americans.
Okay. This guy has a good profile to him, but he's a little bit narrow into that shoulder. He lacks some crown to him, and he lacks some roundness to his head. It's too pointed. He does appear to have very good color. He will be a blue.
All right. Our next senior boar for the American class.
Okay, this guy has very good type to him. And he looks like he's got good color to him, but he lacks some distribution. He needs more white on that one side, where he's all the lilac color. There needs to be a big old patch of white in there to really balance that color distribution. But he will be a blue.
All right. And I believe this is our last senior boar of this division.
This guy has a fairly good profile to him. He's just a little bit high in that height and quarter to give him like a really pretty shape. But then when you look at him from the top, he's kind of pear shaped. He needs to be wider. He either needs to be wider in the shoulder, but I really think it's because he's too wide in the hind quarter to balance with his width of shoulder, because he doesn't really look like he's narrow in the shoulder. It looks like he's too wide in the hind quarter. He's a touch muddy on his belly band, but it's not bad. It looks like it's got a fairly good width to the belly band. And the rest of his markings are good. You can see he's got nice pea spots, eye circles. Looks like he's got good extension of color down his legs. So he will be a blue.
And your best senior boar?
My best senior will be 124, the broken boar.
Our best American senior boar goes to entry number 828, exhibitor 151, tag number 124. Now on to our American senior sow class.
Okay, this girl has a very nice profile to her, but she's a touch potty in her belly. You can see she's got a little bit of a pooch there. She does have good color, and she has a very nice head and ear on her. She will be a blue.
Awesome. Our next sow in the division.
Okay, this girl has a nice type to her. She's a touch ragged in her patches, especially maybe on the red patch on the left side in the front. You can see it's kind of got a big old wavy to the edge. Yeah, a jigsaw puzzle look to it. She could use a little bit better distribution of color. She needs a little bit more black to balance out all that red she has. She will be a blue.
All right.
They're not, and I should mention she had nice clean, the color. There was no mixing of the colors. It's just the cleanliness of the actual shape of the patches on her. The cleanliness of the patching was good.
Yep.
Makes sense.
All right. Our next American senior sow.
Okay, this girl has good type, but she lacks some crown to her, and she lacks some roundness to the nose. She's got good patches and good distribution to her color. They're nice, clean patches. And she's got good color. She will be a blue.
All right. Our next American Senior Sow.
Okay, this girl has good type. It looks like she's got good distribution of her color. They're a touch ragged, though. They need to be cleaner, cleaner lines on the edges of the patches. She's got good red color, but I think that she's supposed to be a TSW, and as a TSW, her black is really faded.
I think she's a broken chocolate red and white.
Oh, okay. Well, then she's got good color.
I think.
She'll be a blue.
She'll be a blue anyway. All right,
Yeah.
your best senior sow.
It'll be 84. It was that first black sow.
All right, our best American Senior Sow goes to entry number 839, exhibitor number 151, tag number 84. Now we do not have any intermediate boars, so on to the American Intermediate Sows.
This girl has very nice type to her. She has very nice colors. She's got good distribution of her colors, especially on that left-hand side. That left-hand side is really pretty. She's got a tiny bit of raggedness in a couple little areas, like right on the top of her head. And she's got a little in the bottom right-hand picture. You can see she's got a little bit where the red or the white bleeds into the red. But overall, she's got really nice distribution. She's got good, clean patches. She's just got beautiful type to her. She will be a blue.
All right. Our next intermediate sow.
Okay, this girl has good type as well. She's got good colors, but she really lacks distribution on that left-hand side. There needs to be a big old patch of white in there. She reminds me of that first place broken senior boar that had that really pretty one side, and then the other side lacked a big old white spot. Her patches are nice and clean, though. She's got a nice head. She's got good ears on her. She will be a blue.
Awesome.
And the other 128, the other sow will be my first place sow, that one.
All right, so our best American Intermediate Sow goes to entry number 844, exhibitor number 151, tag number 128. Now on to our American Junior Boar class.
Okay, this guy has very good type to him. He's got a good head and ear on him. He's got good patching, but he could use a little bit better, a touch better distribution. He needs another spot of red on him somewhere to really, especially on the left-hand side to really balance him out. But overall, it's a nice TSW. He'll be a blue.
Awesome. Our next American Junior Boar.
The guy has good type, but he lacks a touch of crown still, and that may come with some age. He's got nice patching to him, but again, he lacks some distribution on that, be the left-hand side. He needs a big old patch of white in there again. He will be a blue.
I think there's a pattern going on.
Yeah, they might all be related.
Our next American Junior Boar.
Okay, this guy has good type. His ears are a touch small, though. But they're too high set and they're too small. They just kind of sit on his head wrong. He's a little ragged in his patching. He needs some cleaner edges to all those patches. And he's got fair distribution of it. Again, that he needs a little more black on the one side and a little more red on the one side or on the other side. But he'll be a blue.
All right. Our next American Junior Boar.
Okay, this guy he's got good type, but he lacks some crown and he lacks a little bit of width in the shoulder. His ears are a touch on the small side, but they're not terrible. He's got good distribution of his color, but he's got all that raggedness, especially on his face. If his face was cleaner, he'd be more striking. But he will be a blue.
All right. Your best junior boar?
Is 136.
Your best American junior boar goes to entry number 829, exhibitor number 151, tag number 136. And your selection for best of breed and best opposite?
Okay, for this little junior boar will also be my best opposite of breed. And then my best of breed will be the intermediate sow 128.
Our best breed American will go to the intermediate sow, entry number 844, exhibitor number 151, tag number 128. And our best opposite will be entry number, or the junior boar, the American junior boar, entry number 829, exhibitor number 151, tag number 136. Now on to the American Satins, and we're starting it off with the senior boars.
Okay, this guy has very nice type to him. He's got a nice head. He's got good ears on him. He's got very nice sheen. You can see the sheen in the pictures. He's got good distribution of colors, and he's got nice clean patches on him. He could use a little bit more roundness to the head. It's a little long and pointy. I think I don't know why I went out of order there.
It's okay. Color, ribbon color?
He's a blue, sorry.
It's all good. We're getting you back on track. All right, our next American senior boar.
Okay, this guy has got very good type to him. Again, he just needs a little more roundness to the nose. His big fault is he lacks distribution of color. He should be about half red, half white, and he's more like 30-70. But he does have very nice sheen to him. He will be a blue.
All right. Our next American Satin senior boar.
Okay, this guy again, he's got good type, but lacks that curvature to his head. It's a little long. He's got good colors, but again, he could use a little bit better distribution. I don't think it's quite as bad as the previous animal. And this guy's patching is pretty clean, and he's got nice sheen to him. He will be a blue as well.
Awesome. Your best American Satin senior boar?
Is that first one, I think his tag number was 100. That one.
Our best American Satin senior boar goes to entry number 833, exhibitor number 151, tag number 100. Next is our American Satin intermediate sow class.
Okay, this girl's got very good type. She's a touch ragged in her patches though, especially like on that big red patch on her left side, especially the back part of that has got a big wave in it. She's got very good colors. She could use a little bit better distribution, but she does have nice sheen. She will be a blue.
Awesome.
Okay, she has good type, but she's a little bit long in that nose. She could use a little bit cleaner patches on her, but they're really not bad at all. She's got fairly good distribution to her color as well. And she does have good color, and she's got nice sheen to her. She will be a blue.
All right, now our best intermediate sow
will be this one, 131.
All right, our best American intermediate sow goes to entry number 847, exhibitor number 151, tag number 131. All right, now on to our American Satin junior boar class.
Okay, he's got really good type, but he lacks some crowns still. He has those little small high set ears again, but he does have good patches. They're nice and clean, but he could use a little bit better distribution. He'll be a blue.
All right, and he is our only one. So our best American Satin junior boar goes to entry number 837, exhibitor number 151, tag number 140. Our best American Satin and opposite?
Best of breed is the senior boar.
Our best of breed American Satin senior boar goes to entry number 833, exhibitor number 151, tag number 100.
Our best opposite is the intermediate sow.
This one.
Yes.
Our best opposite American Satin goes to the intermediate sow, entry number 847, exhibitor number 151, tag number 131. Now we're on to our Peruvian class.
Okay, this guy looks like he's got good type under all that hair. He's a touch uneven in his length of coat still, but it appears to have a nice density to it, and he's got good color. He will be a blue.
All right, our best intermediate Peruvian boar goes to entry number 1112, exhibitor number 181, tag number 816. We have a Peruvian junior sow.
Okay, she looks like she's got good type. She's got a looks like she's got a good start to her coat. It looks like it's fairly even at this point, but she lacks some distribution of color. She's got just a little red spot on her nose, and if in person, I might gamble that isn't enough color to make it the it's not that 50-cent piece size. As she gets older, it's going to be less noticeable, but at this point, it's kind of a toss-up whether it's enough color or not. But she'll be a blue. She will be best opposite of breed, and that makes the intermediate boar best of breed. All
right, our best of breed Peruvian goes to the intermediate boar, entry number 1112. Our exhibitor number 181, or 188, excuse me. Exhibitor number 188, tag number is 816. Our best opposite is in the Peruvian division is the junior sow, entry number 1143, exhibitor number 191, tag number 834. We have one teddy, and it is a senior boar.
Okay, he has good type. He has good patches and distribution of color, and he's got good color. He appears like he maybe loses a little bit of his kink to his coat down on the sides. It's really hard to tell though in a picture how good his coat actually is or isn't. But he will be best. He'll be a blue, and he will be best of breed.
Our best teddy goes to entry number 1119, exhibitor number 188, tag number 890, and that is a senior boar. Our last division is the Texel, and we will start with the intermediate boars.
Okay, this guy has good type. He's got a nice head. He's got good ears on him. He's got good colors and distribution of those. It looks like he's got good curls to him. Just a little bit right over the top of the shoulder lacks a little bit of curl, but he will be a blue.
All right. Our next intermediate Texel boar.
He's got good type and good colors to him, and fairly good distribution of those colors. It looks like he's got good curls. It looks like he's got a fairly good density to his coat, but he's starting to, those curls are breaking over the top of the shoulder. He will be a blue as well.
All right. And our next intermediate Texel boar.
It looks like he's got good type, and he's got a good head, and he's got good, or his ears are a touch small. He's got good curls coming in. It looks like he's got a fairly good density to his coat. He will be a blue, and he will be my first place intermediate boar.
All right, our first place Texel intermediate boar goes to entry number 1116, exhibitor number 188, tag number 869. Next, we have our intermediate sow division.
She's got good type. She's got a good head. She looks like she's got good ears. She's got nice colors. She could use a little bit more white as far as distribution goes. She does have, it looks like she's got very nice curls to her. She will be a blue, and she will be my best of breed Texel.
All right, our best breed Texel goes to entry number, our blue, and our best breed goes to entry number 1145, exhibitor number 191, tag number 821. And our best opposite will be, I believe it's this boar, right?
What?
869.
869, yeah.
All right, just double checking. Our best opposite of breed for Texels goes to the intermediate boar, entry number 1116, exhibitor number 188, tag number 869. That is our Cavy division. All right, now we're on to the selection of our reserve and show and best in show Cavy. Our Cavies again are represented by the Abyssinian, the American, the American Satin, the Peruvian, the Teddy, and the Texel. Okay, Lynn, so do you want to, we can start with an honorable mention if you want, and then you can select your top 2.
Okay, honorable mention. I just want to say across the board, it was a very, very nice group of Cavies. I was really impressed with the quality of them. So, kudos to all the kids on that. My honorable mention will be the American. My reserve and show is the Texel.
The American is our honorable mention. It's an American Intermediate Sow. Our reserve and show, you said, is the Texel. Intermediate Sow.
And best in show is the American Satin.
Our best in show today is the American Satin Senior Boar, entry number 833, exhibitor number 151, tag number 100. Congratulations. All right, now we will go to our poster, our home raise, and our showmanship divisions. Next, we have our poster division. We, I believe, have 2 senior ARBA breed entries. So this is our first one. Lynn has previously taken the rubric out and jotted comments down, which will be provided to the each exhibitor. So Lynn will do some comments that she wrote about each of the posters. So take it away, Lynn.
Okay, so I like the topic idea for this poster. There's good pictures on it and there's good information on it and it's easy to read, but I'd like to see like maybe a little more information like the breed history and a little bit more about the breed other than just the colors and the fur type and all the things that come straight out of the standard. And it just needs to be a little neater. It's a little, the cutouts and things are a little messy. And the big thing is they need to cite their sources for their information. There's no citing of any of the sources for the information. This one's going to be a red for me today.
All right. Our next in the senior poster division for ARBA breeds.
Okay, so this one's really easy to read. It's well organized. It's a good topic and it's got really good information because there's a little bit of the history. There's some showroom information. What I'd like to see is a little bit more of the description about each of the point categories, like a little bit about body type and a little bit about what you look for in the head. Just a little more information. This one will be a blue, and this one will be. You need a champion.
Yes, I believe this is it for our ARBA breed posters.
Okay, so this one will be a champion.
All right, so champion poster ARBA breed division goes to entry number 727, exhibitor number 146, entry number 727. Next, we have our animal science. So with the ARBA breed posters previously, those were about specific breeds. With the animal science, it's anything having to do with rabbits or cavies, and I believe we have one in the intermediate division. Okay, so this one is really well organized. It's got some really, really good information on there, and it's really easy to read and understand. I'd like to see maybe like, he talks about honeycombing of the bones. Maybe find a picture of that instead of just a picture of the satin cavy, and then maybe explain what a satin is versus something that's not satin for people that don't know, because there's probably a lot of people that don't know what a satin is and why it has these issues. But it'll be a blue. Awesome. Our next in the animal science division, our senior poster.
Okay, so this one rabbit agility is an interesting topic, and there's a lot of good information on here. But maybe add some like pictures of some of the different equipment, or label like some of the different equipment that's already pictured, because people maybe don't know what these different things are, like the poles and the catwalk, and I'm reading their thing here. And just utilize all the space you have on the poster. Don't leave, the big blank spaces. And you need to cite sources. It doesn't say where any of this information came from, whether it's just, is it just your knowledge because you've done a rabbit agility, or did you get it off a website somewhere? Are they pictures you took, or are they pictures you just, you took from the internet? You need to cite the sources for that. And this one will be a blue.
All right. Those are 2 animal science. So your champion today?
Will be the one on the Cavy disease.
All right. Our champion poster animal science division goes to entry number 812, exhibitor number 151. And your best overall poster?
Oh, geez, I didn't know when to pick a best.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm gonna go with the Cavy satin disease one. As my overall.
All right, our best overall poster goes to entry number 812, exhibitor number 151, with the topic of Cavy satin disease. Next is our home race division. With our home race division, all these exhibitors have bred the buck and the doe to produce a litter, and from the litter they are exhibiting one of the kits from the litter, both in the actual show and then here in the home race class. Linn has already gone through and listened to all 5 of the interview questions that our exhibitors had to answer in their video, but we will shuffle through and display the entries of the home race, and at the end Linn will announce her reserve and champion of the home race division. First we have entry number 889, exhibitor number 8. Next we have entry number 898 from exhibitor 151. Third we have entry number 927 with exhibitor number 146. Next, we have entry number 937 with exhibitor number 151, or 115, excuse me. Next, we have entry number 1146, exhibitor number 191. And finally, I believe we have entry number 1159, exhibitor number 54. Yep. So Linn, your reserve and your champion.
Okay, my reserve champion is exhibitor number 54. It's the boy with the Dutch.
All right. Entry number 1159.
And then my champion is entry number 927. It was exhibitor 146. It was the girl with the mini lop.
Our champion today for the home raised is entry number 927, exhibitor number 146. Congratulations. For our showmanship, our students like the home raise. It's based on their knowledge on their animal. And they had to submit a video of going through how a judge judges their specific species, whether it's rabbit or cavies, and then also talk through and say why the judge is looking at the various parts. And they also need to give a couple of comments of like what a judge would say with their rabbit. It's all based on their knowledge of their animal and their animal handling skills. Unfortunately, we did not have any junior showmanship this year, but there's always next year. So next it was our intermediate showmanship. We had one in this division, which was entry number 907, exhibitor number 151. He will receive champion titleship for his entry. Next, we had one in the senior showmanship division. Again, she will earn her championship title, and that's entry number 972, exhibitor number 8. Now on to our advanced showmanship. We had 2 entries, and I'll let Linn take it from here.
Okay, just a general comment for everybody. Just make sure you know the terms that are used in your breed, and make sure you know the proper terms for things. That's just a general comment for everybody. So in the advanced division, there was 2 exhibitors. My champion is going to be exhibitor number 146, and my reserve will be exhibitor number 54.
All right, for our advanced showmanship, our champion today is entry number 925, exhibitor number 146. And for our reserve will be entry number 1263, exhibitor number 54. That is the conclusion of our showmanship division. And I have one last division, which is our costume or our fun division. We have split the division into cavies and rabbits. So this is just fun, no premium or anything. And I thank the exhibitors who participated in this fun class. It might be something that we actually have in person for next year with how everything goes. So Lynn, which one is your favorite costume?
Okay, so costume contest is by far one of my favorite classes to judge, just because some of the kids are so creative. One of my favorite costumes ever was the girl dressed up as a chef, and her rabbit was the meatball in her spaghetti.
Aww.
But my favorite in the Cavy division is the little bumblebee.
Awesome. Our best Cavy costume goes to entry number 1051, exhibitor number 21. It is a little bumblebee. And our costume division for the rabbits, we have 2 as well.
My favorite in the rabbits is the lock with the top hat on.
Very cute. Our best costume rabbit in this division goes to entry number 1271, exhibitor number 146. And if you had to pick your ultimate costume?
The Cavy.
The little bumblebee takes the best costume.
We would like to thank our judge, our 4-H and FFA exhibitors, their families, our volunteers, our staff, and our 2020 4-H Fair recognition and trophy donors. Thank you for watching.